after 5 years of sticking with this planning method, I'm now deciding to at least temporarily move on from it. From the person who literally wrote a book on bullet journaling, we now present the post-bullet journal lifestyle. I quit bullet journaling about a year ago, and since then I've experimented with a lot of different methods for planning and organizing my life. I've tried this modified not quite bullet journal notebook thing, some pre-printed planners, other digital platforms, and here is what I found to be the best and most effective method for me. That is a combination of Notion and Google Calendar. If you've never heard of Notion before, I'm not exactly sure how to explain it, because it's basically this digital platform where you can use it for productivity, organization, making a website, making a little platform thing. I don't know what to call it. Like, it's very hard to conceptualize it, but once you start to use it, it's super intuitive to use it to set up literally anything you want. So I use Notion mostly for long-term planning as a sort of digital bullet journal, because it's such a like blank space sandbox, do whatever you want with it type of platform. Like, it really does seem like just a digital and more streamlined version of bullet journal, which is why I like it so much. It allows me to keep what I used to really like about bullet journaling while getting rid of a lot of the negatives that caused me to move away from it. One of the most important similarities it has with bullet journaling is the ability to kind of just make your own layouts however you want them, which is very freeing for a lot of people like me who like to have a very customized planner layout that they make themselves, that is pretty much perfectly tweaked and then suited to their own planning style and lifestyle needs. And I know some people don't really like that as much, like it seems like a lot of work to set these things up, and so the benefit of Notion then is that you can just copy paste somebody else's template from the Notion template library or from the internet. Also, one benefit of the digital is that they have all of these sorting functions. I'm not super familiar with this function yet, I'm gonna be honest. Like, I still have to really delve into like that Notion lore to get into the real productivity hack aspects of the sort and functioning and whatever. Regardless of like the very low base level at which I use this, I really like to use the sorting and tagging features on my idea pages. For example, let's take a closer look at my YouTube ideas page. I basically have this massive table filled with video ideas and just concepts, and I've tagged them with their topic and the time of year they'd be good for and other random things I might want to tag them for. And then I can use the filter and sort functions to group them in certain ways, which makes it easier for me to do video planning. Another page I really like to use this on is my shopping list page. I tag them by general category because, you know, I don't want to be spending too much in one category at one time, by their price, by the date that I added them to the list. That is the most essential one for me because like I will not buy anything that's like not essential until at least a month after I've had it on my wish list. It's really important for me to avoid this sort of impulse shopping. One, because like saving money, and to reduce the environmental impact of producing more waste. And speaking of saving money and reducing waste, another way I like to do this is by shopping secondhand, especially for clothing, because there is so much extra clothing out there. And that brings me to my favorite place to shop secondhand from the convenience of my own home, ThredUp, which is the sponsor of today's video. If you've never heard of ThredUp before, they're an online thrift store, and the best thing about online thrift stores compared to in-person thrifting is that they have so many sorting and filtering features, just like Notion, where you can sort and filter for the things you want. And of course, you reduce waste, you save a lot of money. If you want to save some extra money, you can use my code JASMINE for an extra 30% off your first order. There's a ton of great finds on ThredUp. Here are some of my favorite winter staples that I've gotten there. I got these cute Everlane blush pink heels. Normally I never wear heels because they're uncomfortable, but these are like the only pair I found that I can actually wear. They were originally $145 and I got them for around half off at $74.99. This shirt that I'm wearing to film this video is actually from ThredUp. It's originally from Uniqlo at around $36 estimated retail, and on ThredUp it was about half off at $19.99. I just really like the funky pattern. Like, I don't know what exactly it is, but it looks nice and I like the colors. I also found this Pizza Planet graphic t-shirt, which is like a reference to Disneyland. When I was at Disneyland, I was thinking about getting this because it's such a funky retro design, and I don't have a lot of white oversized comfy t-shirts actually, but it was just so expensive new and like I couldn't really get myself to do it. But on ThredUp, it was only $18.99, and so I was like, yes, of course, I'm getting that. One of the jackets I've been wearing all the time this winter is this Luna snow jacket, or Launa. I don't really know how to say the brand, but it is so cute. I feel like a lot of puffer jackets are either incredibly ugly or they're so bold that you know they'll go out of style next season, and so it's like not really worth the investment. But this one is like timelessly cute, and it was only $37.99, which is like such a good deal for a puffer jacket. And last but not least, perhaps one of my most treasured thrift finds of all time are these Urban Outfitters flare pants. I originally saw them in a best dress video, and like I watched the video 3 years after it was uploaded, and so I was like, there's no way this is sold anywhere anymore. But lo and behold, I found it on ThredUp somehow. Like the universe just decided these incredibly comfy yet funky pants and I were meant to be together. And they were only $18.99. If you're interested in getting some awesome secondhand thrift finds of your own, visit ThredUp and use my code Jasmine for 30% off your first order. Thanks ThredUp for sponsoring this video, and let me get back to talking about Notion. The main problem I had with bullet journaling that Notion kind of gets rid of was wasting so much of my time and energy and artistic creativity on something that I felt like I was only performing to post on Instagram. First of all, setting up a Notion template and then just copy pasting it over and over and over again is so much faster than drawing new bullet journal templates by hand, which for me is so essential because college life is so much more fast-paced than I ever could have expected. Also, I do a lot less overthinking about the overall artistic vision on Notion because it's so much easier to undo it. Like if I don't like the picture I put as my banner header, I can just remove it and paste in a new one within like 2 seconds. There is a lot of room for creativity, but you're also limited, which kind of sounds bad if you're the person who wants the infinite creativity you would get with the blank notebook of a bullet journal. But for me, that limitation is freeing, if that makes any sense. Like people who are artists will understand what I'm talking about. And if you felt like bullet journaling wouldn't really be your thing because you had messy handwriting or you just couldn't do aesthetically pleasing doodles like everyone did on Instagram, it's no longer a concern. You don't need to do that. You don't need to have any hand coordination or physical artistic ability at all. I feel like overall, because the platform like physically limits what you can do, I spend more time focusing on making sure my planning is actually working out rather than worrying about what the planner looks like. Another reason I spend less time worrying about the aesthetic of it all is because it's not really a thing to post your Notion setup on Instagram, at least not the way it was to post your bullet journal on Instagram. Because I was a bullet journal influencer for so long, I felt like it had to be perfect looking. Every spread had to be more artistic or more beautiful than not only my previous spreads, but everyone else's in the community in order to get the likes and views that I felt like I needed. And looking back, like that was a very toxic mindset to have. I really shouldn't be prioritizing likes and views over like the effectiveness of my own planning system. But I guess that just goes to show the power of social media in making you want things you never really wanted. But going back to my main point, because I don't post my current planning system on social media anymore, I'm now free to just basically do whatever I want with it, like what I actually want with it, instead of prioritizing, oh, what's gonna get me the likes and the views. And alongside the long-term planning I use on Notion, I use Google Calendar for more day-to-day planning. If the features of Google Calendar could be integrated into Notion, then my life would be perfect. But we can't yet, so here I am using these two separate tools. If you've been watching my videos for a while, you might know that one of my favorite and most commonly used planning methods is time blocking. In short, this planning method involves scheduling literally everything, not just things that like I have a set time frame for where I literally have to be sitting in a certain spot by definition, like going to a lecture or sitting in a meeting, but it also involves things that are typically seen as tasks, like write the first paragraph of this paper or read 10 pages of my next assignment. This works especially well for college as well compared to high school. Like in high school, your day was pretty much set from the start and you had like 3 hours where you could actually plan things, so the method isn't as useful. But like in college, So much of your time is unstructured, you really have to set up your own structure to make sure you get things done. That tangent aside, time blocking is super useful for me, and I used to do this in a specific bullet journal spread where I would draw out the hourly calendar. But that was really time consuming, and Google Calendar makes it easy because, you know, it's a digital platform where that whole thing is built in already. And you know, that benefit applies to a lot of other pre-printed paper planners or other digital planning platforms. That was so many words to start with P. I'm the queen of alliteration. Google Calendar specifically though. One thing about it is because it's so commonly used, it integrates well with a lot of other digital platforms. For example, in my school's study list class planner thing, you can download a Google Calendar file of your classes and just directly upload it into Google Calendar, and it'll just like be there instead of you having to manually enter all of your classes. Also with like scheduling meetings with like my management or like other events for like social media things, a lot of people will send Google Calendar invites via Gmail, and then you just click like add to calendar. It works for concerts, it works for a lot of events. So many people send just email invites with that little add to calendar button. And compared to the paper planner, it's a lot easier to change plans because you don't have to erase things and draw them in again. It's easier to carry around because I have Google Calendar on my phone as a mobile app. Another feature I specifically use a lot on the mobile app is notification reminders. Basically, whenever you make the event, you can set a reminder for any time interval you want before the start of the event. So helpful, and has saved me so many times. And okay, this might be very superficial of me, but like, hey, I'm part of the aesthetic planning community for a reason. Okay, I like things to look cute. You can't fault me for it. The thing is, I used to be so bothered by Google Calendar and I didn't want to use it because the colors, the default color palette is so unattractive, but you can change this. Basically what you want to do is make your own calendars for each category of your life. So I'll have like work, studyquill, social media, classes, personal, like a ton of different things. And for each one, you can set your own custom color by typing in the hex code. And so by setting the custom calendar colors, you end up with this custom beautiful palette of Google Calendar-ness. Maybe this is a very, very nerdy thing to be excited about, but I swear on my life, color coding your events with your own custom Google Calendar color palette is one of the best experiences known to mankind, and that was also a lot of alliteration. And that's pretty much the complete tour of my current digital planning system. I hope you found this helpful, and if you have other recommendations for tools or Notion tutorials that I should check out, please, please, please do leave those in the comments. I really do appreciate that. And a quick reminder to check out ThreadUp and use my code Jasmine for 30% off your first order. And this is gonna be my last video for this year. Thank you for sticking with me. It's really been an incredible 2021. There have been highs and lows, but I'm just so thankful to make it here to the end with you, as cheesy as it sounds. I know a lot of you are gonna be setting up your planners for the next year soon, so good luck with that. I will see you all in 2022. Bye. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling 22. Everything will be alright.